Okay, so supposing that I wanted to do 11.2 number 22, which says I should estimate the zeros of f of x is x to the fourth minus 3x squared minus x plus 2.
So when is that 0?
Yeah, I just want to know when this is 0, right?
Okay.
So what?
I did grouping and then it factored out and then set it. Yeah, never mind.
Dude, that seems like a great idea.
I would, what, she said factor it?
If that'll work, that's a great idea, right? Because if you had it factored, you would be dumb.
Yeah.
You guys all with
Just
me on
set
that?
Each of those factors equals 0.
So, how do you factor this?
I did grouping, so I did x to the
Pull an
fourth,
x out.
like
I
parentheses.
wasn't pulling.
So you did f of x
Pull
is
x to x squared out. Or x.
pull an x squared out of that first thing.
Yeah, and then I had
So
x
you got
squared minus 3.
X squared minus 3,
And I had negative x plus 2. And then I set everything equal to 0.
and then you had minus x plus 2.
And then I
Okay.
said 0 equals x squared, which isn't right.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's, I didn't know what to do.
So you said, okay, so this is 0, right?
Well, I set each individual part to 0. So 0 equals x squared minus 3, 0 equals
Yeah,
negative x
Oh,
plus 2.
yeah.
That wouldn't have.
So you didn't quite get this factored, right?
I
Does that
thought I
make
would.
sense?
No?
No.
I just-
Sadly.
So what can you do? I would have started off by saying x to the fourth minus 3x squared minus x equals to negative 2.
Okay. So you want to start with this other approach where you do all this stuff equals 0 and then subtract 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see where that would have got me. I probably would have done the x squared parentheses x squared minus 3 minus x equals negative 2.
Yeah, that's going to be kind of a mess.
Maybe could you
The-
add 2?
So what am I running up against here, basically? You guys
Lots
know
of
this thing
lots
that?
of variables.
It's like a
Yeah, there's.
It's like a quadratic, but it's to the fourth degree.
Yeah, it's like a quadratic, but it's fourth degree.
Double.
So it's a fourth degree polynomial that I'm trying to set equal to 0 and solve, right?
You can't do that.
So I'd like a quadratic formula for the fourth degree polynomial case,
And
right?
it is.
And there is not that.
Um,
There is one for cubics. There is not one for fourth degrees. So crap.
So do we just deal with that?
You just keep doing that.
So what do you do?
Can you plug in values for it?
That's a really half decent idea. Like old school method for this
plug in 0.
would be just like, I don't know, let me just do one of these, right? Like f of x.
Alright.
Yeah.
When x is 0.
Okay, so when x is 0, f is 2.
When x is 1,
When x is 1,
you have 1 minus
1
3.
minus 3
minus-
minus 1.
So negative 1.
Oh,
Whoa.
Okay.
Try 2.
so
So
it
now-
went from 2 to negative 1, right?
Try 0.5.
So, it
So if
just
I'm, like,
cross
graphing?
the x.
I had
Try 0.25.
up,
Oh,
so
yeah.
over 0, up 2. Then I had over 1, down 1.
So that's one of the x's.
Aha, so it probably went through 0 someplace in there.
Yeah. Try
You
0.5.
get that?
0.25.
Yeah, so you could try some values in between, right? Just like broadly, like the kind of first guess that I might make is, yeah, I don't know, maybe it's like
Uh-huh.
a half or a third or
Yeah, I
a
think
quarter,
it's a third.
like any of those would be decent guesses.
Try a third.
So you might guess like, I don't know,
Okay.
guess a half to start
It's
with.
estimate.
You could narrow this down, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not gonna do that. How do I find others?
What do you mean?
Hmm?
Other zeros.
How many zeros would I expect this to have? Like how many zeros could this have?
4.
Okay, so I'm looking for
The other was
4.
up to 4 zeros, right? Okay, so I'm pretty sure one of them's between 0 and 1.
Okay.
Could all 4 be in there?
No.
No.
How could all four
I
be
mean,
in there?
could.
Yeah, they could all be in there. Well, okay, some of them could be, not 4.
I don't
Because I know it goes from up to down, right? And the long-term behavior of this is it goes up and up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So
So I could have 3 in there, though.
that's a crazy rule.
I probably don't, because this has kind of nice big integer coefficients on it. You guys all see that? Like if the coefficients were wackier, maybe I could have a chance of having 3 in there. But that's kind of not ruled out, right? Because all I know is that it crosses at least once in there. I don't know it doesn't cross and then go back and then cross again. How would I try to find some more? Like what else would you do?
Plug in higher values.
Yeah, like plug in bigger values, right? So I know from 1, it definitely gets back up here.
Yeah.
So maybe like 3.
So if I plug in 3,
3 to the 4th power.
That's,
so 3 to the 4th is,
I have no
I don't know what 7 times 3 is.
what's 9 times 9?
81.
81.
You guys know what 3 to the 4th is, you just told me.
Oh, 81. Yeah, that's right.
Because
Oh,
9 is 3
9
squared.
times 9.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
So you got 81 minus,
Minus 3 times 3 times 3.
oh that's 3 cubed.
That's
So that's 27.
Minus
Minus
3.
3.
Minus 3 plus 2 more
Yeah.
is definitely really positive.
Yeah.
Okay, see that?
Positive.
So,
53.
That's really high on the positivity scale. So.
okay, so
if you go back-
definitely there's another 0 in between 1 and 3.
So let's try 2.
So let's try 2.
Alright.
So you plug 2 in, you get
16.
16 minus 12 minus 2 plus 2.
Yeah. 4. Yeah.
Okay, so I definitely have another 0 in between 1 and 2.
Yeah. Somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there, probably closer to 1 than to 2, right?
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
you're closer to negative 1 than this 4.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe, I guess, 1 1/3 or something.
Wow. Maybe that's right.
I don't know if it is or not.
Well,
But at the very least, I've narrowed this down to finding 2 of the zeros, right?
yeah.
So I think I've got 1 in here. I think I've got 1 in there.
You think you have 1. Oh, wait. Between
And
3,
then-
Between 4. Between 3, just go up.
What else would you suspect here?
Maybe it's just a bigger number. Goes down. Oh, well, it just probably continues to go up, actually.
Yeah, so from there it probably just continues to go up. We could try another couple numbers and see. But again, the coefficients are pretty small, right?
Yeah.
So I suspect that the zeros probably aren't very far out.
It could be like mirrored.
What about like,
Yeah, so the same thing could happen on this side, right? I could have another dip into the negative. So I should go try to find that,
Is
right?
there any like rule of thumb where you could tell if it was like mirrored? Like just by looking at the function, is there any way that you could be like, it's the same?
You could get a little clever with it if you saw a nice, easy, complete the square or something. So given the age we live in, I would say your best bet is to get out a graphing calculator and plot the sucker, right? Because that's fast, it's easy, like that's a thing I have available to me. Back in your grandparents' day, I probably would have said, well, let's fiddle around with this and complete this square and maybe try to solve some stuff for x squared, but none of it would work very conveniently on this thing.
Okay.
So, yeah, the tool for this is a graphing calculator. You guys cool with that?
So cool.
That would, by the way, be a better way to construct this table too.
There's only 2 zeros.
And there's only 2 zeros from the graphing calculator, so I probably don't need to check the other
The
side.
other side doesn't even dip. 11 x-axis.
So it just goes like this,
It goes down, but it yeah, kind of like that.
something like that.
Your
It's like a
curve,
W,
it
the
goes
left
down.
little like loop is a little higher up.
Yeah, and actually, this thing here is kind of dorky looking.
Here.
It's got too much stuff going on to be a 4th degree polynomial. So my guess is that, yeah, Zach's probably right, and it does something like this.
it's like I am right?
He is right. He has a graphing calculator in his hand. Cool. Questions on this?
Y-axis.
The zeros are at,
So the zeros are someplace in between 0 and 1 and someplace in between 1 and 2.
okay.
So I would, like, first blow guess, call them a half and 4/3, but those are probably wrong.
Okay.
If you want better approximations,
You go the graphic calculator.
yeah, get the graphing calculator out or get out a quiz for a class of enterprising young students like you lot and be like, guess and check this better. Right. You guys know that calculator used to be a job, not a machine, right?
Yep.
Like that was a thing that people did. They were calculators.
Yeah.
They were the person who calculated.
That was that
I was
bad.
watching Cosmos, Neil deGrasse Tyson in the show.
Not in my day. But in the 60s, that was how like NASA employed a group of calculators.
Yeah.
Really.
I believe you.